Yeah, you already messed up. Get back in. Now get out.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Why are you smiling?
This is 403 Whitesell Street. Come take a tour with us. No, don't be stupid. We got this house for an undisclosed amount because some family members passed away and the children were selling the house and it needed a good bit of work, more work than they wanted to mess with. It was a two 1.5 when we got it. We do have a little bit of, don't show that. We do have a little bit of cleaning going on today. Oh, and it's staged.
Oh, they made it look good. So the previous owners of the home, they added this section over here. And so we came in with the new flooring all throughout so that everything matched. Got a nice big little living room space now.
New paint and trim. There were popcorn ceilings on all the ceilings. Follow me for the tour.
We're getting 0 subscribers.
Kitchen. This is pretty much completely redone. Walls were pretty bad. No backsplash anywhere in the kitchen. Cabinets were built in. They were bad. Countertops were laminate. They were bad. House was just dated, honestly. A little bit neglected. It's got a huge designated dining room, which is great though. Came in the whole house and put in all new doors. All the doors were fine. They were just super old. So new doors and hardware. Closets as well. Master bedroom. This was a bedroom that had just a little tiny half bath. So we went into the porch area, for lack of a better word.
Laundry room, porch area.
Laundry room, porch area. Made this a full bathroom with just a walk-in shower. Simple, pretty clean. Try to appeal to just a normal buyer pool, most buyers. So selections are pretty standard. This was the area that we came into. So it got reworked, built onto a little bit. So you still have a mud room coming off the back porch. Come in, hang your bags, put your stuff up, do your laundry. New windows. One more bedroom and bathroom over here. Left this bathroom pretty much the same. We just cleaned it. It wasn't too bad. The tub needed a good scrub. So we did that, put in a new vanity, just a small 18-inch, reset the toilet. Last bedroom, closet, put in new closet doors. All the floors we just resurfaced. They were like a pine, hardwood. So we just sanded them, stained them, and pretty much left them. This house does have a nice carport area, which I think is a big plus. It's a 2-car and you can park under it and get out of the rain. Here we had a really bad porch. It was rough. We just ripped it out, refinished the stairs, and then here's your carport. A lot of space for activities. This glass conveys with the property.
Whenever we buy a house like this, give everybody an idea of our process from start to finish. What we do, like what we look for when we buy the house, some of the things we take into consideration. How do we do all of our figuring to see if it's a good deal, not a good deal? How do we come up with a game plan? What's our usual time frame from start to finish? Yeah. All that kind of stuff.
We're definitely looking for the right kind of house. Right now, big houses are sitting longer. Just interest rates are kind of high. So a loan on a $500,000 house, it's just not as many people in the area that are buying homes like that. Not that they aren't, it's just not as many. Also, those houses are harder to find run down or neglected. Most people are taking care of a house like that, so might not be as much margin. Also, the cost of renovating a house like that, it's much higher. The holding costs are much higher. So we're looking for probably 3.2 is about the biggest house we're looking for right now, unless something comes across and it's just like a sweetheart deal. But typically, like this was a 2, 1.5. It's a little bit bigger because it had an addition. Not always looking for this, but typically we want to find people. Not often that are we buying a home from a person who's living in the house. Generally, it's like a house they've inherited, or a house that's like they've owned in a portfolio. Maybe they had renters that really like wrecked the house. Now they're looking just to offload the home. So we're not typically paying what a typical real estate agent would pay for a house, but like just to use this home as an example, these siblings had this house. Their mother passed away. They just wanted to sell the house. They didn't want to have to clean the house out. They definitely didn't want to have to update the house and go through the process of hiring someone like us to come in to pay, our price to renovate and fix up a house, and then to wait to put it on market, then to go through the due diligence process, to go through the home inspection process. So when we come in, we want to find a house that's probably we can sell, under 300,000, maybe in the mid threes, and we want it to need a significant amount of work to make it worth it for us to come in and fix it up. So if it just needs a little bit of lipstick, it might not be a good deal for us unless we can get it for the right price. So what we're looking for is the after repair value on it. We just want to know, once we fix this house up, what do we think we can list it for quickly? We also don't want a house that's going to sit for 90 days on the market, because every time it sits, we're paying the mortgage on the house and our holding costs are going up.
So what would you say is the typical profit margin that you look for when buying a house on our end? Like once everything's finished and we sell, what kind of profit? Now, obviously, like if you can make $100,000 on it, that's a no-brainer. But as far as the low end, like what would you say is around the cutoff? And also just kind of explain why.
Yeah, and percentages would be tough because I guess that would depend on the purchase price of the house and stuff. But, if we're not going to make $30,000 on a home, we're probably not going to be interested in that home at all. It's not going to be worth the risk. It's not going to be worth the holding costs that go into it. When we buy a home, it's like it's costing us money to invest into that home in the first place. So if we're going to get a return that's lower than $30,000, our time's better spent somewhere else on a different home. So, in that like 30 range, and then obviously up from that is great. There's also factors too, like we purchased one on Woodland Avenue not long ago that we came into, we put about $10,000 into the home, we sold it, we still cleared that margin and some. What we could have done to that house, though, was take it and do a full, we could have dropped $100,000 of that house, upfit it, sold it for way more money, but at the end of the day, we would have made about the same thing.
So it's not worth it.
So it just wasn't really worth it. So it's like the time and energy that you have into a house like this, where you're, maybe potentially, and we talk about that in a second, but, a couple months of renovating the house, if you're not going to make like $30,000 plus on it, it's normally not something that we're like looking to get into.
Another thing to add to that too is whenever you buy these old houses that people have neglected, that have just been sitting for a long time, haven't really been maintained, there's always unforeseen things that pop up whenever you get into these houses. The one we're standing in, for example, had a lot of structural stuff underneath that had to be done that you can't just see with the naked eye until you go under there and crawl around. But when you go to sell the house, the inspector's absolutely going to pick up on that stuff. So another thing we have to factor in is, if we think we're only going to make $10,000 or $15,000 on a house on the front end, and then you get into that thing and you realize, oh man, the electrical needs to be completely redone, or oh man, there's a lot of structural stuff that we have to do that we didn't even see, then that $10,000 or $15,000 profit goes quickly down to possibly zero or even possibly a loss. And so that's another reason that we try to stay in that 25 to 30 range minimum, is because if we do have something unforeseen, or if it does sit on the market for a lot longer and we have to pay those holding costs, we're not losing money on the deal. We might just not make as much money as we originally anticipated. So it's kind of a CYA thing as well, not necessarily just a greedy type thing.
And that's the thing too that's tough for people to understand when they get an offer like from us on their house and they're thinking, well, I know this house could be worth X, Y, and Z, but if you've been a homeowner, you know how it is when something goes wrong at your house and you have an electrician come out or you have, heaven forbid. So when we're walking around, like Wes said, on this house, for example, we're looking for cracks in the foundation, we're looking for structural stuff, but without doing a deep dive, we don't really know what we're getting into. And it's the same thing for the homeowner. They're a lot of times not really sure the state or the condition of their home. And so it's a tough thing for us to have to try to convey to people that, it could be a home run. It could end up in something that becomes a lot more costly. For example, this house did have structural stuff that needed to be repaired. This house did have working electrical, but it was dated. We had about 2 days of electrical work over here, rewiring, fixing things. We had really dated plumbing under the home. Some of it we upfitted anyway as we did bathroom work, but a couple issues right before we got ready to list popped up and we had to have a plumber come back out, fix those issues. And so it's tough. One thing that we're offering people and offering somebody that is a potential seller is that, hey, you don't have to worry about this. We're doing no inspections. And we don't. We take the home as it is. There's no due diligence process. But because of that, we also take the risk with that home as well.
Yeah. So anyways, I hope this has given you a little bit of an insight as to what we do, what we look for. We plan in future videos to go into a lot more depth on some of our processes and how we do things. If this is the type of content you like, if you're trying to get into house flipping, feel free to message us, comment with any questions you have. We're going to continue to post this type of stuff, and hopefully we can give you some insight, but also help you out on your journey. If you like this channel, feel free to like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.